Hey, it's Benji Cole, son of Al Cole from CBS Radio and host of the syndicated talk show, People of Distinction. The talk that gives you an in-depth view of some of the most dynamic, intelligent, and successful people on the planet. Run to our website, alcoleenterprises.com for more info. Email me through benji@alcoleenterprises.com if you'd like to get involved with what we have going. And as always, please continue to like and follow our broadcasts. People of Distinction is internationally syndicated solely due to the love and support that you all continue to give. We're available across all major distributors, and as long as you keep following, we're going to continue to put out the content. Now sit back and strap in, because on the line with us today, we have the impressive Leah Beth. And we're going to be discussing her incredible book, How God Breathed Life Into Me. It's Amazon, it's Barnes & Noble, man, it's a lot of other places. This is one you're going to need to add to your shelf. And by the time we've concluded, you're going to understand why you need to do that. Now, before I go any further, I want to point out the fact that Leah was brought to us by Author Reputation Press. So for writers out there listening in who have gone through their process and now you need assistance moving the masterpiece you just worked so tirelessly to create. Well, if that's you, head on over to authorreputationpress.com and gather all the ways that their fantastic team is more than equipped to help you do just that. People, it is an absolute pleasure to have Leah here on the line. People, the discussion we're about to have today, man, it's going to be tough to swallow. And for many of us out there listening in, it might hit a little too close to home. Okay, she was 6 years old. She was pressed beneath a table, terrified of her mother's wrath. But that little girl, man, she grew into a woman who discovered something radical, that God doesn't waste our ugliest chapters. And I love that notion. And it's something that I've referenced a number of times in the past. Like I'm a firm believer that God doesn't place anything in your path that you aren't strong enough to overcome. Now, boy, do I get it. In the moment, it doesn't feel that way, right? In the moment, you might be cursing him. You might be questioning why this is happening. You may believe you aren't strong enough. You aren't equipped to overcome it. And that precise reason is why this book is a gift. Why having Leah here with us to discuss everything was a no-brainer. Because the amount of inspiration you're going to be able to receive, man, you're going to take it to the bank, okay? This is something that's going to hopefully make you believe that it's never too late to transform. And just on a personal note, why butterflies make her weep with hope. All right, we're going to get into it all, man. Sit back, strap in, and let's get it started. Leah, first and foremost, welcome to the network, and thank you very much for being with us. How are you today?
Thank you, Benji. I am very honored to be here on this meeting today, and I love the idea and the thought that I can share about my life and spread the word out there.
Absolutely.
I am doing very well.
Leah, listen, I mentioned in my opening, girl, your story is amazingly inspirational. So deeply personal to you, but wildly beneficial to its readers, because really, at its core, what we're talking about here is it's never too late. Our past doesn't have to be a title that we carry with us for the rest of our lives, right? There's wisdom to be gained and copied and pasted in a number of different areas. And I know my listening audience is going to recognize that. So thank you again for sharing. Let's dive in. How God Breathed Life Into Me. Tell us more about it.
My book is about my upbringing, and I always like to say our upbringing doesn't just, I know I grew up in Amish Mennonite setting, and to me it doesn't really matter what setting you grew up. It's about a matter of things happen in families regardless of what religion they're in.
Yeah.
So my upbringing and my journey from brokenness to redemption of healing through God's grace, it has, even just writing the book brought me so much healing that I would have never expected. And I realized when I started writing the book about my childhood, it shocked me to see that my life had been woven into something that I had really no idea. And I was so focused on my anger and my bitterness towards my mother that my mind didn't go very far. It just focused on my hatred toward my mom, which sounds really bad. Maybe even, you're really being discriminative. Yes and no. I feel like, you know what, if I'm not being totally honest, the next person, how often do we just want to hide it? I'm being vocal about it because I was that angry at my mom. I mean, I literally hated her with a passion. And I spent my young days just telling myself how much I hate her. That's all I did.
Yeah.
And I couldn't get over it. I just felt better. I thought I felt better telling myself that it made me feel better. But of course, how could it have really? That was just my focus.
Yeah.
And so with that in mind, things didn't go well for me. I didn't realize I was basically a hermit, living in a big family, but living in an isolated world that I had no idea that I had created. But it was not really a fault of mine. It was just the way we lived.
Yeah.
And so when I wrote my story, it shocked me, that, wow, is that really, it looks totally different now in my mind. It looks completely different when your heart has been washed clean and you love your mother. You can go to her and you can kiss her, tell her you love her and you hug her and know with every being of me, I'm telling her the truth.
Yeah.
I'm not faking it, and I'm not pretending. It's real. And that was God. It sure wasn't me, because I didn't want to love her. That was one thing that wanted to keep me from even allowing God in my life, because I was like, I don't want to love my mother.
Yeah.
I don't want to love her. And then I had the question God asked me, well, why don't you want to love her? Well, I didn't even know. I just had built this wall so high and so deep and so big that I didn't want to. It was probably my protection, maybe, of something. And maybe felt that if that wall comes breaking down, what is left? Nothing.
Yeah. People, you gotta head on over to Amazon, Barnes & Noble, purchase your copies of How God Breathed Life into Me, because you're learning about her story and how God breathed life into her. But I promise you, man, through this journey, that life is going to be breathed into you, because you're going to recognize this book has the opportunity to do that. So head on over, purchase your copies. My follow-up now, what is one thing you wish someone had said to your mother during her own struggles with anger that would have ultimately benefited you?
Listen to your children or hear them out.
I struggle with that from time to time. I can see how that's beneficial.
It could have saved a lot of anger for me if I would have ever felt that my mom heard anything I ever said. So that was huge. That would have been huge for me.
Yeah.
And even for me then, realizing now, maybe I didn't listen. I know I listened a lot to my children, but maybe there were things that I know, not just maybe, I know there were things when I look back that had I listened more, they have so much wisdom that we don't understand. And had I done more listening, and some things could have gone better.
Leah, that is so beautifully human for you to say. And I jokingly said it to add more levity to the conversation. But again, another thing that's so relatable, because I know that there's times where, my daughter is 3 years old, right? So she doesn't know as much as I do. But I tell you, man, that girl has wisdom beyond her years. And there are times that I can learn by just slowing down, right? And taking what she says in. I think that's a beautiful notion and a great reminder for everybody that's out there listening in. Following through in the same vein, offering wisdom, offering some tips to others out there listening in. Your journey from a bitter heart to a free one is profound, right? It didn't happen overnight, and my goodness, I'm sure it was a long and at times arduous journey for you. So for someone reading this book who feels that their own heart has grown hard from past hurts, what is the very first small step towards letting God soften it? What is a word of advice that you would give them on that journey to overcoming?
The best thing that's coming to my mind is learn to let go and let God. That was my hardest thing, to learn how to let go of anything. I didn't know. It was like I was become so broken. I had no idea who I was.
Wow.
No idea. My children would joke with me. I'll say this as an afterthought. Would joke with me, say, "Mom, you need to go to school to learn how to eat." Like, I need to go to college to learn how to eat, how to hold a spoon, how to hold a fork. And I'd be like, I doubt there's a school out there like that. But I realized I must be very immature according to their eyes. And I was just so broken.
Yeah. As we start to close out of this discussion, if we had the opportunity to construct this time machine and you're able to step within it, and you can go back to that little girl that was scared, hiding under the table, what would you tell her? What would be some advice that you would offer her?
First of all, I would want to offer her that maybe I guess I should say, I didn't know I was an unwanted child, and I never felt wanted. I never felt loved. So honestly, I don't even have an answer for you. That sounds terrible, but answer I will give you that you're not expecting is, I have been asked, if you could have chose a different life, would you have? And I say, you know what? I am glad for the life that I was put through. Because what if I would have never known the true healing of the Lord Jesus Christ and his redemption? So I am glad. As awful as that sounds, I am happy now. I am grateful for everything that I had to go through.
Wow. Leah, I think
I have no answers to tell the younger version of me.
Well, you know what's interesting? Okay, so you don't necessarily have an answer to tell a younger version of you, but you offered wisdom and guidance for a lot of others out there listening in. Because and I really do mean, listen, I think perception is everything. There aren't wins and losses in life. There are wins and there are lessons. Now, it's a very small change, but it makes a world of difference, at least for me, because even in those moments that could otherwise be categorized as a quote unquote loss, there are lessons to be learned, right? There's wisdom to be gained. And I think that was a wonderful answer for you to have given.
What I want to share is, and it touches me every time, wants to make me cry, my family has done a miraculous turnaround in my life. So much so that I had the privilege of being begged for me to go take care of her. And I have had the privilege, and then she passed away when I was there in my arms, and all of us together as a loving family. I will share that. And that is something that most people don't get to experience, but I have experienced it. And yes, I'm still excommunicated. I have told them I love them all, but please don't expect me to come back.
Yeah.
But I respect them. I love them. But I have moved on, and they have learned to respect me for that. And my nieces and nephews that I never knew, they were told I'm a horrible person. They worship me now. It's a shocker. And I will share, I have really been able to reach out to my siblings, some of them that allow me to do that, and tell them if things could have been different in my family or me, how things would have been different, me raising children.
Yeah.
And I share that with them, and they receive it with open arms. And they love what I share.
Yeah. People understand we've barely scratched the surface, man. There is so much left to uncover, okay? So, look, I'm going to say it first and foremost. Remember, it's Amazon, it's Barnes & Noble, it's a lot of other places. But pick up the book, get lost in the journey, and recognize one of the main messages here that I'm taking from it, and this is the reason why I keep bringing it up, is she was once that scared little girl under the bench. But today, man, listen, today, Leah stands as living proof that no heart is too far gone for God's breath to revive it. And it sounds like a cliche.
Amen.
It sounds like a cliche, but it's so important, man. Like, her story isn't about broken dishes or an angry home. It's about the audacity of hope when everything says stay hidden, right? And like, we didn't get to it today, and I'm so sorry, but it's a beautiful analogy. And when you guys head on over there, you'll see what I'm talking about. Like, she traded the bitterness that she was feeling for her butterfly wings. And I plugged the butterfly at the beginning. When you pick up the book, you'll understand the connection and the reference, man. But there's a transformation here, okay? And that transformation is so key. Sit with that. Dare to believe that. And utilize this book as a stepping stone on your transformation to bigger and greater things. Of course, alongside God. That's a key component to all of this to give you that strength. But man, this is a fantastic book. Head on over there, purchase your copies today. Leah, this has been a wonderful discussion. Keep up the fantastic work. And once again, thank you for being a guest on People of Distinction.
Thank you, Benji, for allowing this to happen. This has been a big pleasure for me to do this.